Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Hope you're doing well. In today's video, I want to talk about hedonism. It's a philosophy that's centered around chasing pleasure and avoiding pain. But in today's video, I didn't want to just talk about ancient history. I'm trying to bridge the gap between Greece in the 4th century BC and modern day life as we know it. So to kick things off, I wanted to set the stage with a quick history of hedonism. The term itself, hedonism, comes from the Greek word hedone, meaning pleasure. And it's a school of thought that argues pleasure is the highest good and ultimate goal of life, while the act of pain is something that's meant to be avoided. So for the purpose of today's video, we're going to look at hedonism as much more than just reckless indulgence without consequence. I believe it's much more nuanced than that. Hedonism to me is really emphasizing the enjoyment of all the physical pleasures in your life and trying to live in the present moment as like a good rule book to living a fulfilling and happy life. And we've seen versions of this idea appear across many cultures long before it was a formally named idea. For example, in China, early Taoist thinkers as early as the 6th century BC would emphasize effortless enjoyment, living in harmony in accordance with your natural desires rather than resisting them. And we also see it appear in Egypt as early as 2000 BC when we are able to decrypt these different texts urging people in that time to eat, drink, and celebrate and enjoy life while it lasts because they were aware of their mortality. But it was in ancient Greece around the 4th century BC when Aristippus of Cyrene founded the Cyrenaic school around what would be known as ethical hedonism today that really set the foundation for hedonism as we know it. So who was Aristippus? Born in 435 BC in Cyrene, a prosperous Greek colony in what is now modern-day Libya, Aristippus grew up around wealth, merchants, and trade. He was eventually drawn to Athens by Socrates' growing fame, and he eventually became one of the famous philosopher's direct students. He absorbed lessons on virtue, self-knowledge, and relentless questioning. Yet where Socrates embraced asceticism, Aristippus reinterpreted those same tools to pursue pleasure as the highest good. Aristippus was known to embrace many types of pleasure, including gourmet meals, fine wine, sex with escorts, luxurious clothing, and even time for calm tranquility. And to support this lifestyle, he would charge people for his wisdom, which is something Socrates outright rejected, as Socrates believed it would corrupt true philosophy. And this vision gave birth to the Cyrenaic school. The Cyrenaics declared pleasure as the sole good and pain as the sole evil. They even took it further, stating only bodily sensations of pleasure and pain are certain and directly understood. Our perceptions of the external world are very subjective and unreliable, but the satisfaction of pleasure or the jolt of pain offers undeniable proof of what's truly good or bad for us. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. The average person perceives the external world through their five senses: touch, taste, sight, smell, and hearing. But one person's perception can differ vastly from another person's. For example, I could smell bacon being cooked up and think, wow, that smells delicious, while my friend could smell the exact same bacon and think it smells putrid. This lack of consistency between two people perceiving the exact same experience is exactly why the Cyrenaics believed that pleasure and pain were the only two true outlets to experience the external world. And that's because pain and pleasure provide direct feedback. The fact that pleasure is satisfying while pain is repellent is obvious because of the direct feedback you get from the experience itself. For example, if you get hit by a car, your body is going to experience immense pain, and that pain is an immediate feedback that something bad has happened. And there's a pretty good chance we all unanimously agree that getting hit by a car is bad, meaning we perceive that pain negatively across the board. But on the flip side, if you're enjoying food and drinks on a beautiful beach, that's going to bring you pleasure. This again reinforces the idea that a person doesn't need to think critically to understand pleasure and pain because they're innate emotions that humans understand. That's going to wrap up the historical portion of today's video, and now I wanted to jump into modern day. Because hedonism didn't die with the Greeks, it's alive and well in today's hyperconnected world. Enter Will Mahoney, aka DJ Boner Boy on Instagram.
The day's about to be a vibe, the evening's about to be a vibe, the sunset's about to be a vibe, because our life is a vibe. We've made the choice not to fall into the traps of the modern world. Wait, did you see what Guagua posted about Guagua? No, I didn't. You can suck my caca.
If you haven't heard of him, Will's a DJ, internet personality, and self proclaimed party boy who's built a massive following of over 160,000 people on Instagram, showcasing a life full of unapologetic fun. He posts content that's all about good music, beer, beaches, babes, and an endless mantra to stay handsome. And if that sounds familiar, it's because it's just like Aristippus. Will monetizes his wisdom through his online content, DJ gigs, and other business ventures. And the thing is, he's not lecturing from a cave. He's out there living his existence, capturing the experience for everyone to see.
Guys, what's up? We're here to close out summer. Fall's coming and get hyped, but we got a couple more weeks, right? We're in Italy, Lake Como. Cameraman, please show. Great job, you're doing great. We're wearing Dior sunglasses, officially Dior on my body. White wine, best friend, jumping into water, talking to beautiful women. Che bellissima, che scucci la pupa. As my grandpapa used to say, you pipi wal pupu, good idea. Is pupu wal pipi, don't even do it. So we're gonna jump off the bridge and we're gonna have an awesome day and drink a lot, basically. That's the plan. Guys, love you so much. Now enjoy the show. And please, comment on how handsome I look, please. And Maverick.
Will is also the CEO and creative force behind Have a Great Day magazine. In a world of endless scrolling and algorithm chasing, he's spearheading a DIY print revival, bringing back physical magazines for people to flip through and actually own. And each issue is around 100 pages of uncensored content showing off parties, hot chicks, beautiful stories, and just zero filter celebrations of excess. And this isn't some polished corporate media. It feels raw and unfiltered, striking that tricky balance between degeneracy and relatability. And Will's feeding that same bodily delight that Aristippus chased himself: music that hits hard, drinks that are refreshing, and connections that spark joy. Because to Will, it's all about seizing the moment's pleasure. Much like the Cyrenaics that argued only direct sensations of pleasure and pain were reliable, in Will's world, a perfect beer on the beach or a crazy crowd at a DJ gig isn't up for debate. The rush is the proof that those things are good. And if we were to put these two philosophical behemoths side by side, the parallels will start to jump out. They're both unashamed party animals chasing life's highs and trying to live in the present moment. Aristippus charged fees to his students, and Will sells magazines, tickets, and his persona online. They both reject this restrained way of life and want to chase the finer things and enjoy and have fun. This approach feels bold, a modern echo of what the Cyrenaics preached, because pleasure isn't something to moderate endlessly, it's something to pursue boldly, shamelessly, and share with everybody who wants in. So, to wrap things up, I wanted to pose a question to you. What do you think about hedonism and the lifestyle of the Cyrenaics? Do you think that chasing immediate, unapologetic pleasure like Aristippus or Will is a way of life that you could see yourself pursuing and enjoying? Or is it missing something deeper? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, drop a like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Peace.